We all know the image. It's burned into our collective consciousness. A fairy tale castle shimmering under a perpetual summer sky, the cheerful wave of a gloved hand, the sound of children's laughter mixing with music that promises pure, unadulterated joy. This is Disneyland. It's been marketed for decades not just as a theme park, but as a destination. A pilgrimage site for families seeking to escape the mundane world. It is, by its own proclamation, the happiest place on earth. A place where dreams are guaranteed to come true, if only for a day. The polished veneer is perfect, almost unnervingly so. But what happens when the sun sets and the crowds go home? What lingers in the air after the last firework has faded into the night sky? For every bright, sun-drenched photograph taken on Main Street, USA, there exists a darker, grainier image. A story whispered in hushed tones, a rumor that refuses to die. Beneath the gleaming facade of manufactured happiness, a different narrative has taken root. It speaks of tragedy, of secrets, and of restless spirits who never quite left the park. It suggests the Magic Kingdom has a chilling underbelly, a side Disney storytellers would never dare to show you. This isn't just about the occasional urban legend. It's a tapestry of unsettling truth and pervasive myths woven into the park's history. From real-life tragedies to persistent tales of spectral encounters, the park has become a focal point for our deepest anxieties. It's where the line between carefully crafted fantasy and grim reality becomes disturbingly thin. The very ground upon which Disneyland stands is steeped in a history that predates any notion of a Magic Kingdom. Before Walt Disney purchased 160 acres in Anaheim, this land had seen its own share of life and death. For generations, families had lived, worked, been laid to rest there. The transformation was abrupt and total, a world built directly on top of the old one. This rapid erasure is where the first whispers of unease begin. Did the frantic pace lead to oversights? Rumors say unmarked graves were disturbed. Whether true or not, they feed a primal fear, sacred ground desecrated for entertainment. One enduring tale, the Dominguez family matriarch, Ronperia, passing as negotiations began. Her home fell to make way for the pirates of the Caribbean, her spirit said to wander there still. Disneyland was not built in a vacuum. It was imposed on a place with its own memories and ghosts. The obliteration of a real world to create a perfect fantasy helps explain why so many believe the park is haunted. For an organization that prides itself on safety and control, Disneyland's history is marred by tragic accidents. While the safety record is strong, these incidents are jarring. They shatter the illusion. They leave an indelible stain and fuel darker lore for decades. 1966, Thomas Guy Cleveland, 19, climbed the monorail track. He was struck and killed. 1974, Deborah Stone, 18, crushed between a rotating wall and stage. A redesign followed. Some say her spirit haunts what is now Star Tours. 1984, Dolly Young, 48, ejected on the Matterhorn. Investigators found her seatbelt unfastened. 2003, Big Thunder's locomotive separated. Marcelo Torres, 22, was killed. These are documented facts, grim footnotes Disney doesn't advertise, and loci for paranormal claims. It's one thing to imagine old ghosts, another to picture the spirit of a guest or cast member who died in terror. The magic is powerful but not absolute. Reality intrudes. The ghost stories of Disneyland are as numerous as the attractions. They're everywhere. From Main Street to the Matterhorn, tales are shared by cast members and guests alike. Recurring apparitions, disembodied voices, and unexplained phenomena, folklore passed down. Within the haunted mansion, the boy with the crying face is said to appear near the exit. Ashes scattered by a grieving mother, seen weeping, gone when approached. Ash scattering became such a problem that Disney issued statements. Another, the lady in white, in 19th century dress, wandering Main Street after close. Witnesses report a sudden drop in temperature and a faint scent of perfume. Even Walt Disney himself. The lamp above the firehouse, said to turn on by itself. Cast members leave it lit, believing he's still watching. Reports persist of faint footsteps and someone clearing their throat in the empty apartment. a watchful presence over the kingdom. Hidden in plain sight within New Orleans Square lies Club 33, to most just a door, to some a portal to another world, a private five-star refuge conceived by Walt to host sponsors and dignitaries, a decade-long wait list, initiation fees in the tens of thousands, secrecy fuels speculation, Freemasons, the 33rd degree, even Illuminati whispers. Beyond conspiracy, paranormal claims persist. A man in the trophy room, thought to be a worker who died building it, and a woman heard giggling, seen darting through halls, origins unknown. Members report unseen hands on shoulders, whispers with no source. Walt and Lillian chose many furnishings, an ornate harpsichord that plays itself, a film prop phone booth with a disembodied voice. Club 33 encapsulates Disneyland's dichotomy, luxury and privilege, steeped in chilling folklore and mystery. The Matterhorn bobsleds, an icon. The first tubular steel coaster, as recognizable as the castle. A thrilling journey through icy caverns with the abominable snowman. But the real horrors are human, tragedy, and rumors of hidden spaces. 1964, Mark Maples stood up and died. 1984, Dolly Young was ejected. These events cast a lasting shadow of genuine danger. Cast members hear phantom screams and see figures on catwalks after close. The strangest rumor, a basketball court near the top, is true. If a hoop can hide in the mountain, what else lies within? They say Harold moves after power is cut. Lights flicker, tools are found rearranged. Innovation and haunted history, two faces of the same peak. One persistent legend, and fact-based, speaks of tunnels beneath the magic. The sprawling utilidors belong to Florida's Magic Kingdom, but Disneyland has its own tunnels and corridors, a hidden geography where function lives beside fantasy. Stark, functional, industrial. In these liminal spaces, custodial and maintenance staff on the graveyard shift report the most activity. Shadows darting, footsteps in empty locker rooms, doors slamming on their own. The character you saw didn't appear by magic. He rushed through a concrete tunnel, head off for air, the fantasy cracking. Locked doors, badge access. The engine of the park, unseen. The ultimate forbidden space. Workshops, props, animatronics, where magic is made, not displayed. Ghost stories here suggest even the most functional spaces let the supernatural bleed through. Why has Disneyland become such a magnet for conspiracies and dark legends? Because Disneyland is a meticulously controlled environment, every sight, sound, and smell curated to elicit emotion. Perfection breeds suspicion. We look for the cracks. A powerful corporation, fiercely protective of its image, handling incidents quietly, settling out of court, controlling information. Silence becomes a canvas for public fear and imagination. It's modern folklore reflecting anxieties about corporate power, hidden truths, and darkness within beloved institutions. Illuminati, social experiments, narratives fed by distrust. The conspiracies persist because they offer a counter-narrative. More complex, more dangerous, more fascinating. They transform a family vacation into a profound mystery, letting us engage with a familiar place in a thrilling new way, to feel we're uncovering hidden truth. As our journey through the shadows ends, we stand in ambiguity. Between fairy tale and forensic report, we've seen the gleaming castle and heard whispered stories of ghosts that walk its halls. We've acknowledged children's laughter and tragedies that fell silent forever. The question isn't if darkness exists. The record says it does, but what it means. Can it be both the happiest place on earth and genuinely haunted? Perhaps they're not mutually exclusive. The park's immense energy, joy, fear, excitement, exhaustion, experienced by millions, could leave an imprint, like a battery charged with human emotion. Disneyland is a masterclass in psychological architecture, but the illusion is fragile, requiring constant maintenance of things and narrative. Dark rumors, ghost stories, conspiracies, weeds through the pavement, tragedy, history, human fallibility, always there, just beneath the surface. Maybe magic and shadows are two sides of the same coin. darkness pooling where happiness overwhelms.